So I've prepared a little video that I think demonstrates a couple of the points that we've just been speaking about. So I'm just going to load it up. So some of you may know, you may have heard the name GeoWizard before in your lifetime. It's somebody who introduced me to GeoGuessr. The YouTube algorithm picked up on that and kind of showed me a 10-second no pan no zoom video, and I was kind of blown away. And that's what kind of
I
introduced me to
think he's
GeoGuessr.
an average GeoGuessr player, as far as I know.
Not everyone. Not everyone on board the Tommy D train, but what I will say is the reason why I picked GeoWizard is not anything to do with his level of skill, but simply because he gets the most kind of he's the most well-known GeoGuessr player as far as I'm aware.
Yeah,
He's
definitely.
yeah he gets millions of views on YouTube. He exposes tons and tons of people to the game, and I think something we find quite interesting is people's impression of his guesses that he makes in videos. And a lot of people who kind of watch GeoGuessr, but a lot of people that watch GeoWizard don't actually play GeoGuessr. And I think that results in some interesting kind of comments and stuff that get made on videos. And I think it's a good example to kind of show that with a little bit of knowledge in GeoGuessr, it can take you quite far. So I've got a video here. It should load up in just a sec. There we go. So I'm just going to play through these. I'll take my camera off for a second, and then we'll just talk about why they're not maybe quite as insane as some people may think about. So here we go.
Sun is in the south, Mongolia or Kyrgyzstan.
So to start with here, he doesn't actually get the right place, but he does name the place where it will actually be. And the reason why I wanted to bring this guess up is on the basis that there was, I think, a comment about there was a comment saying something like, you know, a shed in a desert, and GeoWizard knows exactly where it is. How could he possibly know that? And that has 20,000 upvotes. I think that's quite sweet in a way, but actually this is like a lukewarm guess at best. And the reason for that is literally we can use two of the things that we've discussed tonight without even factoring in anything you can see on the screen, right? So, as we know, well, when we look at coverage, we know that Mongolia and Kyrgyzstan are only countries in this kind of region that have this coverage. So immediately, it's going to be one or the other. You're not selecting between 3 or 4, 5 or 6 different countries. There's 2 to choose from. And then the second, whether or not Tommy D knows about it, but there's a shadow of the camera rig on the ground as well, which kind of determines that.
You see one side of a bar, and in Mongolia you have the whole rack around the top of the car.
There you go. Yeah.
As well as the landscape, the snowy mountains.
Yeah, and it's pretty much as straightforward as that, in the sense that you don't actually require this incredible geography knowledge all of the time to get some guesses. In certain areas you do require that, but there's a lot of these insane guesses that certainly do get written off as incredible knowledge, when in fact actually it does come down to some Google guessing. So that's one of them. I think I've got 3 examples here. So here's another one. So how is he able to guess this location in 10 seconds without moving?
Ooh.
This is
Ooh,
something
Switzerland here. Let's have an insane guess.
The average players probably
that?
won't pick up on.
We're just south of a lake.
Actually,
So what's
there's
it
2
gonna be?
countries.
Oh,
in the
But
game
there's
with-
2 clues, 2 huge clues for that.
Yeah.
Not for that, but there's language on top of all.
Yeah, so obviously language, we've got what looks like German there, and the second thing is our car is actually lower than normal. It might be a little bit difficult for players who are just starting out to notice, but it's closer to the ground because of privacy laws or whatever. And this happens only in Switzerland and Japan, and obviously Japan doesn't have German language, or shouldn't have German language, so it had to be Switzerland.
Yeah, nail on the head there. Yeah, so by identifying, quite obviously, we're looking at Europe. Kind of looks like Europe, some European language there, and the camera's lower down.
And also from what we have talked earlier, this is generation 3,
Mm.
and German. That excludes Germany and Eastern Austria, so it can only be Western Austria or Switzerland because of the coverage.
Yeah, 100%. So, when you've played the game for a little bit, these kind of factors are really easy to pick up on, and as you can see, Tom notices it immediately, says, let's make an insane guess, because he knows the only place to go to in Europe is going to be Switzerland based on these factors. And then he uses the rest of his 10 seconds to look for, say, a lake and some other bits of information like that. So he's making a better guess based on, he's like saving time by recognizing the country based off of the kind of generic details and the car camera level height, and then using the rest of the time to make a better guess. So that's how you can get a really good guess there. And again, just one more example at the end here.
United Arab Emirates. Near Dubai, I would say. Come on. Wow, nice. 18 miles. I can't really tell UAE apart from some of the other Arabic countries sometimes, but I did there.
I mean, he did there. He's right. He did guess that location. I mean, again, when you look at the coverage in this area, you've got the UAE, you've got Israel and Jordan, and that's pretty much it. So you're not picking between a vast majority of places. Obviously, using a bit of the information here, new motorway, big motorway, desert. I think it's quite easy to make a guess
Pretty
there.
modern-looking street lamps.
Yeah, it looks
The
like there
more
might
modern it
be.
looks, the more UAE it is.
Yeah, and I think,
Yeah,
and again, you wouldn't guess Qatar, you wouldn't guess Bahrain, which might have potentially similar looking type things, because the coverage isn't there, and that's kind of makes it a far easier guess. Actually, we might have a little bit of a problem, guys. Somebody in the chat, Leota, I think is their name, says, "Hello there, Sunken City. I'm Tom Davies, aka GeoWizard's attorney. I'm writing to inform that regarding a cease and desist filed about your use of GeoWizard videos for a GeoGuessr podcast. Please cease using the video immediately and send a video apology." I didn't realize.
I
Shit.
think that's not a real attorney that says
Are you
what he
sure?
wrote is unconstitutional.
I'm sorry, my heart's going. I thought we'd been caught.
No. I think because you're not using any copyrighted music, you should be okay.
Oh, the music, right?
GeoWizard is not a company.
Well, who knows? I think I'm getting worried. He might walk in a straight line over to my house and, do something to me. So with that, we'll put that to a rest just in case. No,
No one swatting you.
No, I will say shout out to GeoWizard. He's a lot of people watch him. He does really good streams. I still watch his content. I think it's really good. Maybe if you're like super into GeoGuessr, he's not your cup of tea, but I really like him. Is this helping?
To be honest, his videos are very good to fall asleep. For me personally.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Just Nighty throwing a little bit of shade.
Yeah, a little tiny bit of shade there. But I mean, that would, we're talking about somebody who's quite good at GeoGuessr, Nighty, versus the best player in the world who's travelled to every inch of the country, in every country, in every, continent of the world. So I maybe a tinge of jealousy there, Nighty, if we're being honest. So one thing I do want to show. So that's a video that I think we can go ahead and explain why maybe not quite as exciting or crazy as it might appear if you don't know much about GeoGuessr. But there is a video that I think deserves a bit of recognition. I know a lot of you already know this, that I'm aware of. But when I was first shown this video, I was completely and utterly blown away by it. Right, it kind of fucked with my head. It was that good. And this is Subsymmetry's 50 countries in a row speedrun, and I think this is showing you, if you apply obviously those fundamentals with an incredible knowledge of what you're looking at and where you are in the world, you can get as good potentially as Subsymmetry. I mean, this is a video that blows my mind. As two people who are really good at the game, what are your thoughts on this kind of iconic speedrun?
Yeah, some of these are doable for me, but then
Yeah.
some of them are kind of a little bit out there. Like I
Some
probably
are
would
very
need a little bit
straightforward,
more
yeah.
time. Yeah.
But Subsymmetry is definitely better than both of us, or all three of us. But
Sorry, did you say better than
Yeah.
me?
he's better than all of us. Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean,
Especially
I'll
in
trust you,
immediately
Nighty.
recognizing the countries. I might recognize the countries as well, all of them, but I just need my time. I need to look around.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that the speed is what is quite so mind blowing about this. But I think it goes to show that there's like clearly a very specific thought process that you can build into your game that helps you guess extremely well and very quickly the country you're in, and then you can use the rest of that time to make up for where you're actually guessing in a specific location. I think that's what's identifying a country is one thing, but where you kind of pick up points in challenges, and when you're doing like you're doing some of the GeoGuessr challenges that are out there, maybe you're participating in a tournament, maybe you're watching a Twitch stream that has a chat guesser going or a challenge going, being able to identify the country very quickly is going to help you spend more time guessing where you think you actually are in the country.
Definitely. And that's what I like to do with especially 20 seconds or more time in a game, recognizing the country and then getting a good score in the country, just based on landscape, based on everything around it. That's my forte.
Somebody's pointed out in the chat is that he didn't say he was going to make an insane guess for any of these guesses, which I think is probably a failure of subbing there, really. It should be, I'm about to make an insane guess. I'm about to make an insane guess. That should have been throughout the entire video, so we knew that an insane guess was about to be made. I mean, just a little bit of feedback there. Thank you for that, Ben. That feedback is, we'll pass that on. But yeah, shout out to Subsymmetry, incredible player. If you're not subscribed to YouTube already, I'd certainly recommend going over there. New videos still coming out 3 days ago. A new video as well, so plenty to check out over there.